Welcome to In the Zone. I am your host, Chris Broussard, and we are back with not quite me against the world, me against somebody. Me against Jason McIntyre, one of my favorite
Back
people.
to beat you up again.
One of my favorite people.
Catch another
here.
L.
See, listen to it. I can't even finish my sentences. One of my favorite people here at FS1. The thing I like about J Mac, and you've seen us debate on Facebook Live. You've seen us on Speak for Yourself. We are constantly going at it. He's even been here in the zone before. And he is like Dwayne Wade. He gets knocked down. He loses, and he keeps getting up. He keeps coming back. Wade didn't lose that much, but, you know, he get knocked down and come back up. And so that's what I like about him. The L's that I've delivered to this man, the welts that I've put on his head have not stopped him from coming back.
All right, Chris, let's do this.
You got gumption, you got
ready?
guts, you got heart.
Let's get it
Let's
started.
see if you got intelligence.
Does the Gordon Hayward signing make the Celtics a legit contender to make the finals?
No. I mean, they're better. They get closer to Cleveland. I guess if we want to say there is any type of threat to the Cavs in the East, it's Boston. But really the only way Cleveland doesn't get out of the East is if LeBron gets hurt. They're still better, markedly better than the Celtics. He's the best player in the conference, LeBron, and the league. Kyrie Irving is arguably the second best player in the conference. And Kevin Love is a perennial all-star. And they got good role players. They got championship pedigree.
Old, you forgot old. They got old role players.
Is LeBron old? Is Kyrie old?
33.
Is Kevin Love?
Stars are fine.
That's what matters. Hey, that's what wins in this league.
How old is
Stars.
Jose Calderon, their number one guy they signed in the offseason?
He's going to make the difference?
Kyle
Did
Korver.
Did they need
Channing Frye. Do you need me to go on? Richard Jefferson is 37.
So they're not winning the East because of Channing Frye, Richard Jefferson.
I didn't say that, but you're acting like they're role players or something. They are ancient fossils.
What about Tristan Thompson?
He's not a role player. He's a starter. I'm talking about
That's
off the bench
a role player.
players.
He's not a star.
Well, okay, fine. Fair enough.
He's
Tristan
a role
Thompson's
player.
fine as a
J.R.
starting
Smith.
role player. He's all right.
Iman Shumpert.
Iman Shumpert is
They're
questionable.
all
They were
role
looking
players.
to trade him a couple weeks ago.
Now, look, do they have the bench to beat Golden State? Not really. But do they have the bench to beat Boston? Yes. Go ahead and make your case.
If push comes to shove, I think the Boston youth, the Boston depth is a big problem for Cleveland. Well, listen, I love LeBron like you do. I'm not from Ohio, but LeBron is 33. He's going to be 33 in December. 14 seasons injury-free. Father Time catches up with everybody. He cannot lead the league in minutes played again, Chris. Okay? And in Boston, last year they didn't really have the horses. The one game they won against the Cavs, Isaiah Thomas missed it. They are so versatile on the wing. Hayward, Tatum, Brown, Crowder. They got a lot of different looks they can throw at Cleveland. I know Vegas doesn't agree. You don't agree. I actually, right now, Boston-Cleveland is a toss-up for me in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, my gosh.
How's Kevin?
I should kick you out of the zone
Let me ask you,
right
how
now.
is Kevin?
Toss-up?
How is Kevin Love going to reply to the last 2 weeks? Hey, Kevin Love, we're going to trade you. We're shipping you to Phoenix. We're shipping you to Indy. You're out of here. We need to get better. How is he mentally?
No choice.
Okay, he has no choice. But
he
mentally,
has he been right mentally since he's been in Cleveland?
He has not. Exactly. That's the problem.
And he still gave you 20 points and 10 rebounds last year.
Maybe once in the playoffs, 20 and 10. Come on, dude. You know Kevin Love is not. Okay, if you're ranking the players, Boston, Cleveland. LeBron's 1. Kyrie's 2. Is Gordon Hayward above Kevin Love? Yes.
I actually think Kevin Love's better than Gordon Hayward.
Oh, my. You can't say that with a straight face.
Kevin Love is better than Gordon Hayward. If Kevin Love had his own team, he'd be 23 points and 12 rebounds
No, because we saw him in Minnesota, and he was a 30-win guy. Okay?
No, he was
30 wins.
Hold on, he was a 40 and 42 win
and
guy
they never
his
made
last
the playoffs.
season in the West.
Whatever.
Did he have Rudy Gobert?
No
Did he
playoffs.
have George Hill? Did he have Derek Favors? Did he have Quinn Snyder?
Derek
Favors? Don't. Let's move on before I reach
God.
out and grab you or
George
something.
Hill.
Number 2, should LeBron James stay in Cleveland after next season and finish his career there or go elsewhere in the summer of 2018?
We've gone, 8 or 9 rounds over this already? I believe because of Dan Gilbert's ineptitude as an owner, okay? Doesn't want to spend on the luxury tax. Has paid a big luxury tax.
He's been spending on the luxury tax. What are you talking about?
What did he just do this offseason? Jose Calderon. That's his only move.
No, Kyle Korver. 3 years.
Yeah, extending Kyle Korver, keeping a 36-year-old gunner who missed the one pivotal shot they signed him for in the finals. Let's not act like Dan Gilbert's done anything.
No, all
Chris.
I'm saying is that shows he's willing to spend.
Oh, okay.
He gave Kyle Korver more than he needed to. So that I'm just saying, I'm not saying it was a great move to give him 3 years, really 2, and the third's not guaranteed, partially guaranteed. But I'm just saying it shows he's willing to spend.
Now, you know we're on different sides of this. I firmly believe if LeBron leaves next summer, the Lakers should be the #1 target.
Why?
Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Paul George. We know he's leaving OKC. We can agree on that, right?
We'll see. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
God. All right, that trio right there. By the way, I know you're saying they can't compete with the Warriors. Those three will be younger than the entire Warriors core.
You act like
of Curry, Durant,
but
Clay.
the Warriors are still young.
The Warriors are young,
and
but they're
LeBron's
aging.
not young.
And Kevin Durant's
as
an
you
injury
said
risk.
earlier.
And Steph Curry has had
injury risk.
Oh yeah,
he's been injured before. He's not an injury risk.
Plenty of the foot injuries. Come on, he almost missed the entire season.
Everybody
last
except
year.
LeBron, he missed 20 games.
And
that's
then
the entire
and then
season.
He missed 2 games in the playoffs.
That's the entire season.
Well, I mean, it's a significant chunk. When he went down, the fears
2
were
out
if
of
Kevin
18
Durant's not there,
games.
they're not winning.
2 out of 17 playoff games.
You cannot tell me that Kevin Durant's never had injuries in his career.
I didn't say he's
significant
never had
injuries.
I'm
like
just saying
the
he's not an injury risk.
I'm playing devil's advocate. If he goes to the Lakers, instantly title contenders. I don't see what's left to accomplish in Cleveland.
Here you go.
He went there to win a title. Mission accomplished. Thanks for your service, Dan. I'm out.
You forget he's from Cleveland.
He
but
is, yes.
I think he should stay in Cleveland. But really, he's free to do what he wants. You're right. He did bring them their title. I hope he stays in Cleveland. However, if he leaves, the place to go is not the Lakers, it's San Antonio. Because if he leaves, if he prioritizes rings, like if he says, we can't get any better here in Cleveland, we got to win. I got to win more championships.
San Antonio.
The best coach, arguably in NBA history, the coach who's given LeBron the most trouble throughout his NBA career is Greg Popovich. You got Kawhi Leonard. You got LaMarcus Aldridge, or
so
if you trade him.
You don't like me sending him to the Lakers in the West, but you sending him to the Spurs.
Here's my thing with the Lakers. If you're LeBron James and you go to the Lakers, you have absolutely got to win a championship.
Yeah.
If you're Paul George and you go there and you don't win a championship, it's okay. You're only Paul George.
Agreed.
If you're LeBron, you're on the same level as Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq. I actually have you better than all those guys. Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain. They all won at least one championship with the Lakers. You go to the Lakers, getting you back to the second round, back to the conference finals is not good enough. You have got to win the championship.
I would agree.
And I don't know that if you don't win it there, that could taint your legacy.
Oh, so you're saying he could fall from second all-time if he doesn't win a title with the
No.
Lakers?
I mean, Phil Jackson's still arguably the best coach in NBA history, but his legacy has been tainted, not ruined, tainted by what happened in New York. That's all I'm saying. LeBron doesn't need a taint. You go to San Antonio, you got the best coach in the league. You have a chance.
I'll give you this. It's interesting.
San
It's
Antonio,
outside the box. I like that.
San Antonio is on the Warriors' heels as it is. Give them LeBron, and you don't think they're right there with him? That's all I'm saying.
It's more attractive to restore the Laker brand.
But if
in
you
the
don't,
league.
it's more detrimental, right?
I just think the upside is higher with the Lakers than it would be with the Spurs.
How?
And you're adding the ancillary. He could be a billionaire owner. He could learn.
Well, he can do that
but
wherever. He's a mogul
is
as
he
it
going
is.
to do that in San Antonio, or is he going to help the brand
He's
in
doing
LA?
it in Cleveland. I mean, LeBron James is LeBron James. He could be playing in Iowa, and he still be the
LeBron's
the
going
king.
to Iowa when his kids are going to be in middle school and high school?
Hey, I lived in Iowa for a couple years.
No, you did
Leave
not.
it alone.
Wow.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
All right, next
a little bit of Hawkeye.
Who's up? Is this me? Will James Harden and Chris Paul excel together or be a bust?
They will be a very good team together. Now, they're not going to beat the Warriors.
What's very good? 50, 55, 60?
Well, they'll win 50-ish. They may win fewer than 55 games that they won last year.
Agreed.
I think, though, there will be a better team in the playoffs, and here's why. First of all, mentally, they're both on board. They both are saying they want to share the basketball, get off the ball a little bit more. So that's good. They're starting off right. Secondly, the Rockets have been incredibly predictable in the playoffs under Mike D'Antoni. It was only 1 year, but they either want to shoot a three-pointer or go all the way to the rim. So San Antonio, when they played them, ran them off the three-point line, and they knew they weren't going to pull up for a 15-foot jumper. They're going all the way to the rim, and you can contest them at the rim.
Gasol was there, yep.
Yes. So now you've got a great mid-range player in Chris Paul. I think they'll go through their bumps and bruises in the regular season. But come playoff time, they will be better and less predictable because of the mid-range.
Here's why I don't like it, Chris. James Harden was an off-the-ball player for most of his career. He becomes a point guard, and we really see him become an elite player.
Well, he was elite before that.
He was an elite scorer, not an elite leader. And
he was second. He was second in MVP voting in 2015. I actually voted for him that year.
That was the year that they had a stacked team in Houston, right? They had Josh Smith, Corey Brewer. They had eight guys
that's
averaging.
Not stacked.
Well, they had eight
they
guys
had
averaging
Dwight
double
Howard,
figures.
who was hurt for half of the year.
But they had 8 players in double figures.
They didn't.
They had 8 guys averaging double figures. Look it up.
That's never happened in NBA
100%.
history.
And remember,
look that up. Research. 8 players in double figures.
8 players
think of that.
average. Now again, some of the players got
never,
traded.
I don't think that's
Terrence
ever happened.
Jones averaged double figures.
Half the players were gone.
Well, again, they had 8 guys during the season.
But you can't say that.
Let me get to my next
Some
point.
of the players got traded.
Chris,
all right?
that is also the same team that against the Clippers was down 3-1 in their most memorable game. James Harden was benched during that comeback where Josh Smith and Corey Brewer rained threes, and they came back with James Harden on the bench.
Okay. So what's that?
Harden,
what's that
very
mean?
good player, but 2 years ago wasn't anything like this past season. This was the best season of his
could have
career.
won the MVP.
But
this was his best year,
as
no
a
question.
ball-dominant player. And look up the stats
But he was
of time
great
of
as a
possession
two-guard, too.
and touches. Chris Paul and James Harden both in the top 10. I believe this is going to detonate. I have real concerns about Chris Paul's health running in Mike D'Antoni's
there's
system.
something true.
And James Harden. Hey, wait a sec. It was my team last year. We won 55. Whose team is it? Chris Paul's thinking, I got to get that 5-year deal. I have concerns about this. I feel like Jerry West and Chris Paul, there was some kind of falling out there. We don't fully know the story. Doc Rivers obviously loved Chris Paul. Did Jerry West? I think Chris Paul overthought this, said, I'm out of here. And I have major concerns about the Rockets.
So what? Okay,
Chris
so
Paul
where
and
do you
James
see?
Harden.
So
I got
when you say
like,
detonate, what do you mean?
I've got them like 6th in the West, behind the Timberwolves. Yep, behind the
Timberwolves
Thunder,
are nice.
behind the Spurs. I can see them 5th or 6th and losing in the first round, and then you got problems in Houston.
Well,
yeah, a little sell job there. You didn't see that coming.
No, I did. I mean, I think it might take a little.
You like that?
I think it might take a little while, but we'll see. That wasn't a bad argument though. All right, look, Carmelo Anthony,
your man.
If he's bought out by the Knicks, should he go to Cleveland or Houston?
Cavs, no doubt. I mean, they're in the East. You think they're going to just destroy the Celtics? And actually, for the Warriors, Carmelo makes a lot of sense on the Cavs. When you're matching up in that, Kevin Love can play the 5.
Oh, now you like Kevin Love.
Well, again,
you were killing him 2 questions
ago. As a 5, when he's your 4th option or 5th option, that's fine. Kevin Love, Melo, LeBron, J.R. Smith, Kyrie, that's pretty lethal at the end of the game right there. I like Melo a lot. Plus, if you could put him chasing Kevin Durant around, Durant's going to get his. But if you have Melo using all the energy, you save LeBron to play center field.
Having Durant, I mean, Melo can't guard.
He cannot guard Kevin Durant. Durant will get his 30, but
he's not a good
more
defender.
importantly, LeBron is going to be refreshed for that 4th quarter. Remember, he got destroyed by Durant in the 4th quarter of the first 3 games. He was tired.
Melo's not the guy that's going to relieve LeBron on Durant, though. I think what Melo will do, I'm with you, he should go to Cleveland. Durant will guard Melo at times, or Draymond will guard Melo. See, one of those guys can, and then that could open things up for Kevin Love.
Carmelo has a better post game, I would say, than LeBron, no doubt. He's a challenging matchup. I don't know why Houston doesn't make any sense to me. The Mike D'Antoni Carmelo history. I was in New York at the time. That was ugly.
Well,
they hated each other with a passion.
To your point, though, Chris Paul, his game doesn't really match Mike D'Antoni either. So D'Antoni is a very good offensive coach. He's going to have to figure something out, and they need some mid-range game. And Melo, in addition to Chris Paul, would bring that. But I'm with you. He should go to Cleveland because if you go to Houston, you're not getting out of the West. Yeah. Cleveland, you're going to the finals. The only thing that helps Carmelo Anthony's legacy at this point, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer as it is.
What does
but
that
the
mean,
only
though?
thing.
I mean, everybody's in the Hall of Fame.
No, Chris Webber's not in the Hall of Fame. You know, a lot of players aren't in the Hall. A lot of good players aren't in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Carmelo Anthony, the only thing that can really add to his legacy is winning a ring, or at least getting to the finals and playing well in the finals and competing for a championship. You go to Houston, that's not happening. In Cleveland, that is.
Let me just toss in real quick. This whole, will he buy into coming off the bench? Of course he will.
First of all,
he needs a title. He needs to get to the finals.
But he might not have to come off the bench, but if he does.
So Tristan Thompson doesn't start?
You could start, well, yeah, you can't start Melo at the 2.
Make him a 6-man. Manu Ginobili is the blueprint. Manu Ginobili was an awesome
you
starter.
You could bring in.
Became a 6-man.
You could bring Tristan off the bench, but yeah, Melo might come off the bench.
All right.
But I agree with you. I think he would buy in.
All right, Chris, maybe you'll get a win on this one. How well will the tandem of Russell Westbrook and Paul George work out in OKC? And is there any chance Paul George stays with the Thunder long term? I couldn't say that without laughing.
Look, they're great players. I think they'll work it out. I think Westbrook will be willing to adjust his game a bit to accommodate another star, and here's why.
Well, okay.
First of all, he did to a degree, to as much as he can. Your game is your game, okay? To as much as he could adjust, this notion that he and Durant were not successful is ridiculous.
I don't think
they got to the finals. They got to the NBA finals.
Yeah.
They were the years they didn't, several of the years they didn't, they were injured.
Yeah.
And then they have Golden State, this juggernaut, down 3-1. They obviously didn't close the deal. They didn't win the ultimate ring, but they did have a nice, successful run together. So he showed he can play with another star. Now, this year, individually, he showed it all, right? He averaged a freaking triple-double, got the MVP award. I think now he'll be like, look, all I need to do now is win. That's all I can do now is win a championship. Obviously, I need other guys to do that. So I think he will accommodate George. I think they'll be a very good team together. They won't be Golden State, but
where are they in the West?
I think they're right. They can be. No, San Antonio is 2. San Antonio is 2. But in the playoffs, they will give San Antonio problems and could beat them because their athleticism has always been a problem for San Antonio.
So if they beat the Spurs, that's pie in the sky. That's
the only way I think George could possibly stay there, is if they get to the Western Conference Finals. At least.
And you think he would then pass on the Lakers?
No, I said possibly. I think that's the only way he even really thinks seriously about it.
I know people are going to give me heat for the Rockets saying that that's not going to work. Because this, if you look at the history of super teams, Chris, everybody kind of had a defined position. Bosh, power forward. Wade, shooting guard. LeBron, small forward. There's no duplication.
Well, there was duplication in Miami.
Well,
that's why they weren't
Dwayne Wade is one of the all-time great shooting guards. LeBron is one of the all-time great
But they both play
forwards.
similar. They dominate the basketball. They don't move
but
that
in Houston,
well off the ball.
Point guard is different than like wings. In this situation with Westbrook and George, I think it's going to be great. I think you're basically substituting Paul George, a top 15 player in the league, for Andre Roberson, who can't shoot a free throw.
It's going to be better for sure.
Now, they also added Patrick Patterson, a move I like a lot. He's a nice small forward who can stretch the floor. I'm sorry, power forward. My issue with this team is shooting, which is what it was last year. Who is going to be the shooting guard? Alex Abrines? Is that the guy?
They got no shooting.
Well, that's the issue.
That's their
so
problem.
I think, like you said, the ceiling could be Western Conference Finals. I would say 0% chance Paul George stays.
You think he takes...
If Kevin Durant, one of the all-time greats, is not willing to stay beyond 8 years to play with Russell Westbrook, Paul George is not staying a second season when Lonzo and the Lakers is an option.
What about, do you think there's a possibility he brings Westbrook with him to the Lakers?
No. If I'm the Lakers, I don't want Westbrook.
Why not?
I don't.
Put him at the 2.
I don't see you think Russell Westbrook, give me the ball, I want to go.
When James Harden was there, Harden was there, and he came off the bench and played with Westbrook,
I would go.
Who was the playmaker?
Let me amend that. I would go
James
LeBron
Harden.
first. That's who my number one target.
Of course.
Maybe Westbrook's my fallback. Now, let me give you a off the card. This wasn't one of the questions. Let's say this does not work. Westbrook and Paul George. Westbrook has not signed his extension in OKC. Does Boston, with the assets and the draft picks, go to Sam Presti and say, hey, Westbrook ain't coming back. Let me give you 3 number ones. Let me toss in Avery Bradley. Give me Russell Westbrook. I think there's a bigger percentage chance of that than Paul George staying in OKC. You like that, huh?
No,
you got to sit on that for
I
a
don't
minute.
really like. I don't know if I would do that if I'm Boston. I would rather go for.
Wait. You think the Lakers should get Westbrook, but Boston should not?
I think no. I'm not saying the Lakers should. I'm saying if Westbrook wanted to go there, I don't think I'd turn it down because I'd have Lonzo. I'd put Westbrook at the 2, and Lonzo would be my point guard. Think of them running the break. I mean, that'd be crazy. So I would do that.
There's a chance this
if
doesn't
I'm
work.
Boston, I'd rather go for Porzingis. Because I think it's just the fit.
selling you on
I
this.
think
Cowherd's
I
the
think
voice
it's
in
a
the
good. I think the fit. But look, I said this on the herd. If I'm Boston, what I'm doing is I'm starting the season as I am.
Yes.
And I'm seeing what Jason Tatum is. Does he look like a superstar to me in the future? If so, I just stay pat. If not, and if Porzingis begins the season, now it's your team. Now Phil Jackson's gone. The triangle's gone. If he comes out like gangbusters and is clearly, he's the man, then I make a move.
I mean, not to get too off topic, why would the Knicks then trade him?
Because you could get a haul.
They would sooner just buy out Melo.
No, well, Melo's not. I don't think Melo has anything to do with it. It's strictly Porzingis. If you're the Knicks, why would you do it? Because Boston can give you a haul.
Yeah.
They
the
got
Knicks
all
don't
those
even have a
draft
GM
picks.
though. We don't.
They will buy it. They will buy it. And
Your boy
Steve Mills is running
your boy
it right
Steve
now.
Mills, right?
Steve Mills is a good basketball
chump.
guy.
No,
Please.
I'm kidding.
Don't blame it
no
on him.
offense, Steve. I
Don't
know a
blame
lot
it
of
on
players
him.
listen to this podcast. All right, Chris, you're up.
All right.
I think. Yeah.
This is a good one. I'm interested to hear your
Obviously.
answer
The world
on this.
awaits.
Who is your favorite
Ooh, I do like this.
to win MVP next year?
All right, I'm crossing Westbrook off the list, right? He just got his MVP.
Wow.
Average a triple-double. You said he's going to dial it back to show
Okay.
George he's a team player. I think the ship has sailed on Curry being the MVP after what we saw from Durant. I love Curry after what we saw from Durant in the finals. LeBron, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously he's in the discussion every year. That's not a sexy answer for this podcast. I'm going off the board. I'm going like a 50-1 shot. Giannis from the Milwaukee Bucks. Young, what is he, 22?
Are you just trying to make a headline, or are you
No,
serious?
I'm being serious. If you're looking for a long shot, here's a name. I think he was like getting some fringe second, third place votes this year. Or maybe not second or third or fourth place votes. Giannis was in the top 7. Yeah, he was in top 7 for
third or fourth
MVP.
place?
I mean, listen,
He
there's
wasn't
people
on my
that didn't
top
buy
5
Harden.
ballot.
Not top
I like
5.
Giannis, though.
Here's the reason. I think in the depleted East, my team to make a rise is the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
I think they can go from 42 wins to 50. I'm not buying the Raptors or the Wizards. And Giannis, listen, he's getting Jabari Parker hopefully back for a full season. This is a team that's really coming into its own. We saw what they did in the playoffs. And Giannis against Toronto was impressive. That would be my long shot. Keep an eye on this guy.
Well,
for the MVP. I mean, the
he
obvious
could be
James
in the,
Harden,
he could
Kawhi
be in the
Leonard,
discussion.
Kawhi Leonard.
I'm telling you, I'm going with Kevin Durant. I think Durant now nobody's worrying anymore about he went to a 73-win team and all that stuff. Some people thought he was in the discussion last year, right? Okay,
I think he's the best player in the NBA. Sorry, LeBron.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry. That's a
he's gonna be the
sorry
MVP.
answer.
You're saying he's going to be the
Westbrook
MVP.
was MVP. Was he the best player? No.
No, he was not.
The best player doesn't necessarily win it. LeBron's still the best player. I mean, maybe LeBron falls off a little next year. We'll see. But Durant, there was no way he was winning it last year because everybody was so upset and holding it against him that he went, to Golden State. This year, though, he took less money. The media will love that.
Oh, yeah.
He was the finals MVP. He was tremendous. He's the best player on the best team. They're going to win 70-ish if they try. If they try.
Right.
They're going to have the best record. They're going to just run through the league, and he's going to be the top player. I think he's the front
All right, let me
runner.
quickly
He's my
ask
favorite.
you before the buzzer goes off here. Do you think there's any chance he takes a step back in terms of, hey, I got my ring. We're champs. I want Klay Thompson to be happy because all the spotlight right now is on, is Klay Thompson leaving in 2 years? Is he the odd man out?
He took a step back.
Do him and Curry, Durant and Curry, say, let's get Klay more involved? We need this guy on our team.
First of all, he took a step back by taking lesser money. That's a message to Draymond and Klay, like, look, let's keep this band together. When you guys are ready to max up in a couple years, just take a little bit less. Let's all be unselfish. We got something special here. Secondly, Klay averaged more shots per game last year than Durant.
Yes.
Durant was third on the team in shots per game, 16.5 shots. It was his lowest of his career. look, and I believe while Durant is the best player on the Warriors, I think Curry's the most important because I think they have to play through Curry, his shooting range, his carefree approach to taking three-pointers. They have to keep that. Clay will get his. He averaged 22 points. People act like Clay averaged 15 points a game.
The playoffs are what matters, and he was quiet.
But he was quiet because he just didn't shoot well.
I know.
He wasn't quiet because he didn't get the opportunities.
Warriors fans, it's cool. I like him. I'm just tossing scenarios.
I hear you because a lot of people are of that sentiment, but I think Clay will stay.
All right, Chris, finally to my new team that I'm championing them big time with the additions of Jimmy Butler, Jeff Teague, and Taj Gibson. Is Minnesota, the Timberwolves, a legit contender or at least as good as anybody in the West not named Golden State?
Not yet. They will be very good.
Give me a win total.
I have them in the top 5 in the West. Okay? I have them, but they're young. Even though Butler, Teague, and obviously Taj are experienced, their best player is Karl Anthony Towns. He's still young. They're going to be really good. I was sorely disappointed last year.
100%.
And I think Tibbs is one of the greatest coaches in the league. I think he's top 5. But last year was a big disappointment. It did give me
first year.
I get it, but it made me wonder, is he the coach for that group? Now, he brought in his guys, Taj and Jimmy, so you would think it'll go more smoothly. But I got them in the top 5. I think they're a year away from being as good as anybody else other than Golden State. And maybe 2 years away from really challenging Golden State.
What's the ceiling?
In the West.
Ceiling can they get to 2 in the West?
I do not see them being the second best team in the West this year.
3 in the West.
So you don't see that? I don't see them being able to get to the conference finals. I think if they make the playoffs and they're the 5th,
if you broke down
seed,
the rosters 1 through 6 in the West, best players, they might be number 2. They've got a really talented lineup, man.
But listen, it's a lot. It's more than that, though.
I know people will knock Jeff Teague. Oh, he didn't do much.
Teague didn't bad.
Listen, he's going to be like their 5th option. Okay, Wiggins, Butler,
4th,
Towns. There's no pressure on Jeff Teague. Taj Gibson, great role player. He's what you want, doing the dirty work next to Towns.
Here's the thing they lack, though, shooting. Teague, 36% from 3.
Yes.
But actually, Teague and Butler, Wiggins, all around 36% from 3. Yeah. They don't have to. They're almost built for 7-8 years ago, where the three-pointer wasn't as much of a factor. I think they have to add some of that before they can really challenge Golden State. But I think they're on their way, and they're young and growing.
Let me hit you with a quick stat. They were 28th in the league in clutch scoring last year. Yeah. Awful. They lost a lot of close games. Jimmy Butler was 7th in the NBA in clutch scoring, according to the NBA advanced stats. He is money when it matters. He's their new money man.
They're going to be much improved.
Oh my, and they're going to be fun to watch.
I want to see them add some shooters, some role-playing shooters
Oklahoma
around.
City doesn't have shooting either. I mean, that can be an issue. Golden State hogged it all. Clay, Curry, Durant. I mean, they hogged it all.
Nah, but I'm with you on Minnesota, but I'm not quite as high on you yet. Okay. I just think a couple years. Give them a couple years. All right. Would you rather?
Oh no!
And one of your teams is in here.
Oh gosh!
Be the GM of the Cavs or the Knicks? You say, "Look, they're going to the finals again."
LeBron's going to the finals. Okay, this is a great question. I give you and the team here props for that. I lean Knicks because of a couple factors. Number one, living in New York versus living in Cleveland. Well, I was born in New York. That matters.
Take that. But
that matters.
Basketball-wise.
Okay, fine. Basketball-wise. The Knicks have awful contracts. The Cavs may lose LeBron in the offseason. I would say you lose LeBron. Are you going to be able to recruit elite free agents to Cleveland? Or are you going to be able to recruit them to New York? I know they haven't come to New York recently.
Recently?
I know that.
When was the last one?
Zach Randolph.
I mean,
Isaiah Thomas.
Jamal Crawford.
Joakim Noah. No, we're not counting Derrick Rose. There were some bad contracts. Courtney Lee's a terrible contract. But young players to build around. I'd rather build around Porzingis than Kyrie. Would you not?
I mean, everybody holds Kyrie's first few seasons against him because they didn't
do anything.
But
and then he gets
who
LeBron
does
and
do anything when they're young? LeBron didn't make the playoffs his first couple years in the league.
I think he was 22 when he went to the finals. Like his 4th year in Cleveland.
Yeah, but his first couple years he didn't make the playoffs.
Right.
And in the East, and Kyrie I'm not going to hold it against him that they didn't win. I'm not saying him having his own team, they're going to be a contender, but he was a young kid. You're showing that you're a top player. I'm not going to hold that against him that they didn't win. So that's a tough question. Look, this is not as
let me
easy.
add one point. When you look at assets, Chris, young assets and future draft picks, the Cavs have none. They couldn't trade Kevin Love. Their only asset to deal.
Here's the thing,
is Kyrie.
though.
That's it.
Okay, if you go to Cleveland, you're going to the finals.
If LeBron's there.
At least this year.
Let me call
and
get
if
your
LeBron
phone.
stays.
Let's call Chauncey Billups and ask him.
And hold on.
Why didn't you want to go to the finals, Chauncey?
David Griffin. Everybody thinks David Griffin's this tremendous GM now.
No, let's not go there.
But a lot of people do think that.
He was good.
Why was he good? All he did was add role players.
That kind of matters, doesn't it?
That's all you have to do in Cleveland.
Well,
That's it.
As long as LeBron
in New
is
York,
there.
yes, but he's there at least one more year. You know, and if he's not there, I still have Kyrie and Kevin Love in the East to build around.
What are they in the East?
With Kyrie and Kevin Love,
are they top 4? No way.
I would say in the East, yes. Or they got a shot. Those are two perennial all-stars. Kevin Love's production would increase. Look, people diss Kevin Love to death.
I'm not dissing him. He's a top 35 player.
He gave you 20 points and 10 rebounds as a third option. That is rare not only in today's NBA, but historically in the NBA. Third options are naturally inconsistent.
I just keep thinking of Chris Bosh in Miami. Okay, so Chris Bosh was great in Toronto, took less of a role when LeBron came there.
Yeah.
And then LeBron left, and it was like, oh, they're like an 8th seed with Wade and Bosh.
Well, Wade was older and kind of banged up.
Okay.
And I'm not saying they would challenge for the Eastern Conference title, but you would have building blocks.
Yeah. But
in
you
Kyrie
said
and
earlier,
Love.
the Knicks can trade Porzingis for a huge haul.
The Knicks aren't. It's not as easy a question as it seems on paper.
Yeah.
Because the Knicks, you do have things to work with. Obviously, you got a budding superstar.
We don't even know about this 19-year-old they just drafted. I mean, he's 18 now and 19.
Ntilikina. Yeah, I kind of like him from what I've seen. So the Knicks are actually in decent position.
They got Ron Baker too.
But here's the challenge. It's everybody thinks go to the bottom and then eventually you get back up. You may never get back up.
That's true.
And that's where the Knicks are at the
Sacramento,
bottom. Exactly. Orlando, Charlotte's.
Well, you can't whiff on your picks. I mean, Golden State went down. They got Curry at 7. They got Klay, I believe, at 11.
Draymond in the second
boom,
round.
boom, boom,
Yep.
up.
Yep.
Sacramento Kings, Thomas Robinson, Stauskas. You can't continually whiff on these picks. All right, Chris, wrapping up your latest loss to McIntyre with the disparity between the talent level of the West and East, should the NBA consider some type of realignment?
I've said this for years because, look, for the past 20 years or so, the West has been better than the East. When New Jersey was getting to the finals way back in 02 and 03.
That was after Shaq had left Orlando, right?
Yes. Yeah, that was when Shaq was in with Kobe in the LA.
That's right, dominant.
The reason now everybody killed Jason Kidd couldn't get past the second round in the West. With a good Phoenix team.
That's a good.
He goes to New Jersey, and all of a sudden they go to the finals 2 straight years. Now Kidd was obviously a great player, but that was indicative of the weak Western or Eastern Conference.
How far does this go back? Does this
go
go back to Jordan?
It goes
Jordan
back
in
to
the 90s?
before Jordan. No, it goes back
I
to
like where you're going
not during Jordan, because the Knicks were there, the Pacers were there. The East was strong then, and the West was strong. They were both strong. There was balance. After Jordan is when it began. Since then, there have been 19 NBA champions, 13 of them from the West, and that's not even the story. The story is the depth in the conference. So this has been for a while. So here's what I would do. I think that the NBA needs to take the top 16 records. I don't care if 12 of them are in the West and 4 in the East. The best 16 records make the playoffs.
But then you got to adjust the
seed
schedule.
Yes,
right?
that's the second part. You adjust the schedule so that it's even. So now you're playing everybody roughly 3 times a year. Not quite everybody, but most teams you play 3 times a year.
That's travel brutal for some of the coastal
Look,
teams.
you're flying charter, whatever.
Just
It's
like
fine.
Broussard, private jets.
If you have to spread out the schedule,
the good life.
But that's what you do, because right now the purpose of competition is to be fair and to make it the best teams win. And here's another thing it would do. If you did that, top 16 seeds, even out the schedule, I think it would fight against players resting, because the Cavaliers would have been the 5th seed last year. 5th seed.
In the playoffs.
Yes. So now you're meeting Golden State like in the 2nd round, maybe.
No,
okay, so now you got to, instead of sitting out those regular season games, I need to play them to win so that we can get the best seed in the playoffs.
See, that's a lot of work for the NBA. I don't know that they want to totally shake it up like that. What if they just took some of those teams in the middle America, and Minnesota? Let's shift them to the Western Conference. From the West to the East. And they just made a few tiny moves.
But and some people would say overall it's cyclical.
Think that's what the
but I'm
NFL
saying it's
did,
been
right?
20 years. This is not just cyclical. This is better management in the Western
Conference. Better
Conference.
management, but also maybe
better
players
drafting,
want
better
to
trade.
live in.
No, it's not. It's not that.
Well, then why is nobody going to Florida?
Why is nobody going to the Lakers?
Well, I mean, people are going to the Lakers. Paul George said, I want to go to the Lakers.
Is he with the Lakers?
Well, he's not with the Lakers, but
Okay.
Kobe Bryant was there shutting people out.
Kobe got drafted.
No, but nobody wants to go play with Kobe in the last 5 years.
Kobe wasn't
LaMarcus
there.
Aldridge?
Kobe wasn't there recently. LaMarcus Aldridge didn't go there.
Dwight Howard went there with Kobe and was like, I'm out. This is a disaster.
But it wasn't just Kobe. It was the Lakers weren't managed well at that
I would
point
agree
in
with
time.
that. Magic is changing that, and now the Lakers
New
are going
York's
to be
a great
draw.
city. It's not warm, but
Terribly
nobody's going
managed.
there.
Yes, they can't get interviews.
So it's a great city. It's not, and Miami people will go to Miami. I mean, heck, the big three went to Miami. So I think it's more.
I mean, LeBron does one move and it changes the balance and everything in the league.
Yeah, if he goes to the West,
Who else
the East is the JV.
Pat Riley better step it up. What's he doing now? Huh? Struck out with Gordon Hayward? They're going to trot out Goran Dragic.
They still got a nice little
Whiteside.
squad.
They got an okay squad. I mean, they better draft better.
They'll be okay.
Riley's, mid-70s? He's getting up there. He's not going to be there forever.
They'll be okay.
I think you got a good point about the mismanagement in the East. I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks, have you followed this story?
Yeah.
What's going on? Their front office is disaster.
Crazy.
Like
Crazy.
the Brooklyn Nets, like some of these, no hope whatsoever.
Giving Otto Porter a max deal.
Oh, my gosh.
So that realignment, that's the way to go.
I think it's not terrible, Chris.
That's the
I'll
way
give
to
you
go.
a point.
Not
there.
realignment,
a rare
but
point for Broussard.
please. One more question. One more question. The Clippers. Should they have let Blake Griffin walk? And remember, they just added Danilo Gallinari in the trade, 3-team trade. Should they have let Blake Griffin walk and started a complete rebuild?
Yeah, I would have done it. Tear it down. Tear it all down. I mean, we're seeing across town the Lakers essentially tore it down to the studs, right? And then they'd sign a couple bad contracts.
They didn't tear it down. They just got bad.
But I blame a lot of it on Kobe. I know you guys are tight and you text and play and FaceTime each other. That's fine. But what I want to get at is the Lakers are still rebuilding, okay? The Clippers can tear it down and rebuild. Russell Westbrook's going to be on the books.
Again, is there a guarantee? They were down for 2 decades.
In life.
They were down for 20 years.
And they got Chris Paul handed to them. And they were
they were down for 20 years. Now they're relevant. They still can fight for the playoffs.
Yes.
And Blake Griffin, first of all, Blake Griffin's got a lot that people haven't seen, at least consistently.
You are captain of the Blake Griffin fan club.
Look, Blake Griffin is very good. Look, here's what you want in the NBA. You want a 5-7 year run of being relevant and ideally being in the title hunt.
Toronto Raptors have been relevant for 5 or 7 years.
And that's better than being where Orlando is.
I don't know.
It's better than being where Charlotte is.
I would rather go where the Sixers went.
That's one team.
Okay,
and let's see them stay healthy for once. We all acting like the Sixers are the next coming. Stay healthy.
You're anti-tanking, right? Obviously, it's pretty clear from that. Listen,
all I'm saying is it's not the end-all, be-all.
I think it's better.
Because most teams that tank never get back up.
Some teams don't get back up. The Golden State Warriors were very, very bad for a long time. After that Baron Davis run, remember? They were bad. They were 20-something win team.
But they didn't tank. They just weren't a good team.
Mismanagement, bottom out, get a high
tried.
draft.
They had Monte Ellis. They had Corey Maggette. They were trying.
The Indiana Pacers, we're going to watch. They're a great test case right now, right? They refuse. They don't think they can tank in that market. Their GM has come out and said it. They decided.
That was a terrible move. I'm not going to use them
so
as
they're
going
to be stuck in the middle with Miles Turner and Oladipo for 5 years.
I'll say, how about the Clippers be the litmus test? Because Oladipo and Sabonis aren't a core.
That's a 30-something win team. That's what they're going to be. No top 10
Here's my point.
For the next 5 years.
The Clippers have a draw in Blake Griffin. He's a player fans want to see. He's an all-star type player. they are still relevant.
I was waiting.
Why
for you
go
mention
to the
DeAndre
bottom?
Jordan.
Well, look, honestly,
Who's that backcourt again?
I think
Patrick Beverly and Austin Rivers.
No, Lou
Oh
Williams.
yeah, Lou Williams. Microwave oven Lou Williams.
Do you watch basketball?
Yeah,
Lou Williams can play.
Get some buckets.
Lou
on
Williams
losing
can
teams.
play.
Yeah, I like him. I like his game.
Was Houston a losing
he
team
trash
last
about
year?
us writers. Come on, you got to get
I don't
my
care.
side.
He's
Not
still a
writer
good.
anymore.
He's a good
Listen,
player.
They're a
Lou
40-win
Williams,
team at
Patrick Beverly, Blake
Sam
Griffin,
Decker,
DeAndre Jordan,
Gallinari.
Danilo
DeAndre, who they
Gallinari.
tried
Have
to
you heard
trade.
of Gallinari?
I like his
18
game.
points a game last year.
I'm familiar with him
Great
in New York.
three-point shooter.
He was good in New
Spreads
York.
the floor. All
I like
you know are New York players.
Oh, stop
You
it.
bring
I
he was
liked
good in
Gallo.
Denver, too.
He was pretty good in Denver. He kept getting hurt. He had some injury issues there.
Jerry West is not in the 5-year plans. They did the right thing by bringing back Blake Griffin. Trust me.
So what are they, 38-40 wins
No,
next year?
they're fighting for the playoffs.
What seed?
In
7,
the West.
8?
Yeah, they're going to be a bottom 7 or 8
Nuggets
seed.
or Clippers? I'm going to go Nuggets. Remember, they got your
It's
boy
going to be
Paul
a good
Millsap.
one. Millsap, Jokic
Okay,
is tough.
Pelicans.
They're going to be fighting for it.
Pelicans or
Pelicans
Clippers?
are out. Clippers.
Jazz, no
Better
Gordon
coached.
Hayward, or Clippers?
Clippers.
Who they just lost. Okay. I don't think the Clippers are a playoff team. I think they're 8 or 9.
It's going to be
Maybe
the West is
sneak in.
tough. The West is going to be
So
deep.
you're in a tough
the only
conference.
certain,
You gave Blake injury history, knock out the trainer,
the only
$173 million. Broussard.
the only surefire playoff teams in the West: Golden State, San Antonio, Oklahoma, Houston, Minnesota.
OKC.
Did I
you
say
say
OKC? Okay, so that's 5. So Memphis, Utah, the
Clippers,
Clippers.
Pelicans. Where are the
Maybe.
Lakers? I'm curious what you think of the
They're
Lakers.
not gonna make the
Before we
playoffs.
go into the
They're not
I
gonna
know,
make the
but
playoffs.
what's their win total with Lopez, Lonzo, Ingram, Randall,
they're in the
Clarkson?
30s. I mean, look, if I'm the Lakers, I don't care. I mean, yeah, of course you care about
you
winning.
want to look pretty
What
good
I
if
wanna-
LeBron's
no,
coming on the
this
market.
is what I want to see.
You
If-
can't be a 25-win team.
This is what you need to see if you're the Lakers. Lonzo Ball. Is he our leader? Is his unselfishness contagious? Do the other players enjoy playing with him? Is he making them better? Is Brandon Ingram getting markedly better because of Lonzo Ball? Is their chemistry great? Are we running the floor and other guys sprinting for fast breaks because Lonzo's getting them to rock? Does Lonzo look like he's going to be a superstar type player? That's what I want. If I win 31 games and that's the case, fine. Because I don't expect it to come together like that.
Well, here's a question that just
That's
hit
what
me.
I want to see.
Who has a better year next year, Brandon Ingram with the Lakers or D'Angelo Russell with the Nets? Because, listen, people are going to scrutinize that Magic trade. There are Lakers fans out there, Chris, and hear me out.
Russell may put up more points,
Right.
but
there are Lakers fans who are
he's not as good
happy
as-
with that trade.
He's not as good as Ingram.
I
Russell's
would
not as
agree
good
with
as
you,
Ingram.
but I don't want to see Brandon Ingram average like 14 a game next year. He needs to get up in the 18 to 20.
He might. 14, it depends on how the 14 comes.
I mean, listen, Gordon Hayward averaged 5 as a rookie and slowly built up.
Yeah, a lot of players have done that.
There was a lot of time for Gordon Hayward. Brandon Ingram needs to show
Every
LeBron,
player's not-
show Paul George, guys, come here, I'm an 18-20, I'm ready to go.
First of all, LeBron James is not looking at Brandon Ingram like that's who I need. That's who I got
No,
to
but
go
he wants to see he wants to see progress. I don't think he's considering the Lakers if they are terrible this year.
Can we chill on
No,
the LeBron
this is
to the
the
Lakers
storyline.
talk?
I
It's
know
so
you're going on,
overblown.
I know you're going on your trip around the world
It's
over
so
the next few months.
overblown.
But
I'm
this
saying
is what
it's
basketball
ridiculous.
people are going to talk about. Gordon Hayward's fine. He
Just
went to
because
one
you've been
All-Star
writing
game.
on the big lead every day that LeBron's going to
I
the
think
Lakers,
people
chill.
like this. I think people like talking about LeBron and the Lakers. That's going to be the
The
storyline.
question is it going to happen?
Nobody knows.
And it's too early. He doesn't know.
But
that's what I'm saying. We need to relax.
Nobody knows the Rockets are going to be good.
Can the dude enjoy his offseason in Cleveland? He loves Cleveland. You saw
Mr.
Trainwreck.
Mr. Ohio.
You saw Trainwreck. He
I
was
did.
talking up Cleveland, my man. Good job. You got closer today.
Oh, stop.
It was like 9-3 or something like that. But anyway, great job.
Stop,
Look,
Broussard.
thank you, everyone. We hope you enjoyed it.